debate him head to head.
So let's have the debate. I am offering President Obama to come on this program without staffers, without a teleprompter, without note cards, to debate me on the issues.
Limbaugh is responding to claims from the left that he is now the head of the Republican Party. Here with his take on that, former New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani. Mr. Mayor, great to see you this morning. So he has said some kind things about you. He has said some unkind things about you as well. What do you think of Rush Limbaugh becoming the de facto leader of the Republican Party?
I should first say that Rush is a personal friend, so for a long, long time, it must be almost 20 years. So I really, I get along with him very well. I think he's doing what he does. I mean, he is doing essentially what he did, for years. He has a set of viewpoints. You couldn't possibly ignite his thinking and emotion more than what things that President Obama is doing. This is, from Russia's point of view, out of control spending, adding up the deficit to numbers that have never existed before. So he's doing his thing. He's pointing out his fiscal discipline approach in his unique Rush Limbaugh style.
But is he in fact, do you believe, the de facto leader of the Republican Party?
Of course not.
But then why are Republican leaders like Michael Steele and Governor Sanford and Phil Gingrey out of Georgia paying like unflinching fealty to Rush Limbaugh?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I think first of all because he has a big audience. He's got a big group of people that we all, that are part of the base of the Republican Party. So they don't want to offend them. There are principled agreements on this, and this is getting down into like a little bit of a game. Who runs the Republican Party? Well, Rush obviously doesn't run the Republican Party.
No, but he has the head of the RNC says, "Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to say that. That wasn't what I was thinking." I mean, obviously he commands some measure of respect that gets over and above the Republican leadership.
You could, legitimately, you could say he has one of the most influential voices in the Republican Party. That a large group of Republicans are very much in agreement with him. Follow his lead.
But they're kissing the ring, Mr. Mayor.
I don't know if they're doing that. I mean, I think what they're doing is they are not wanting to irritate his audience, and Rush is making the most of this. This is like a dream for a radio talk show host or a television talk show host. The President of the United States and his administration are engaging with him.
But here's the question. Is it the best thing for the party that he is seen as such a figurehead? Here's what David Front said, quote, he says, if you're a talk radio host and you have 5 million who listen and there are 50 million who hate you, you make a very nice living. If you're a Republican Party, you're marginalized. And we had Ron Paul on Monday who says that Rush Limbaugh does not expand the base of the Republican Party and that if you hope to gain back control of Congress and win back the White House in 2012, you have to do that. So is he, in essence, in some ways, bad for the party?
I think it's a combination of two things. You have to contain or keep the base of the Republican Party, and you have to expand it. And to the extent that Rush Limbaugh energizes the base of the Republican Party, he's a very valuable and important voice, which is what I think you see reflected in the language of some of these leaders.
Is he of a divisive enough voice, though, that he turns off moderates? So you need to have
other people are going to have to be included in the party and have to be allowed to speak to moderates. The Republican Party is not one voice. It's not Rush Limbaugh. Michael Steele technically runs the Republican Party, but Michael would tell you he's not the only voice of the Republican Party either.
So Governor Mark Sanford responded to what Rush Limbaugh said about he hopes that President Obama fails if his goal is to create this sort of socialistic society in terms of getting the economy back in shape. Governor Sanford said, you have to be an idiot to wish that he fails because if he does, we're all in trouble. So is it right for him? Is it prudent for him to say he hopes he fails?
This is semantics. The reality is,
do you hope he fails?
I hope the president succeeds in every respect. He's the president of the United States. We want him to succeed. We want him to succeed in foreign policy. We want him to succeed in domestic policy. If he were to ask my advice, I would tell him he is following the wrong game plan to succeed in domestic policy. Certainly with the economy. I ran an economy that was in deep trouble, a budget that was in deep trouble. In my opinion, respectfully, the president is doing all the wrong things. Now, are they going to work? I hope so. My experience tells me you don't add tremendous spending, which is out of control, without discipline, the spending has to be tied to recognizable revenues. 8,000 earmarks in this bill. I mean, this is not change that we can recognize as any kind of change.
But bottom line, Mr. Mayor, on the stimulus package, we've got you on the record as saying, regardless of what you think about it, you do not hope he fails.
Of course not.
Okay.
I hope he succeeds. I've been wrong before. My philosophy works sometimes it doesn't. Let's hope the president is right. Let's hope he changes course or whatever. But we have to hope that the president succeeds. Everybody loses if he doesn't.
Mr. Mayor, it's always fun to have you in. Thanks for coming by.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. 38 minutes now after the hour.